So, the real heir finally drags himself home, and you, being the polite fake brother, decide it's time to pack your bags and hit the bricks. But hold your horses, because the real young master grabs you like you're the last roll of toilet paper in a pandemic. He's all like, "Brother, where do you think you're going? This is your home!" Surprise, surprise, Big Bro is actually a time-traveling regressor. In his past life, he let the sudden wealth go straight to his head like a cheap tequila shot. He didn't just let you walk away, he actually mocked you on your way out. But then, life hit him with the ultimate karma sandwich. His gold-digging fiancé starved him to death while hijacking the family estate. And who was the only one who stepped up? You! You exposed those vultures and took them down, but it ended with you getting kidnapped and dragged into the deep blue sea right along with them. Talk about a raw deal. You were literally a top-tier celebrity on the verge of marrying a billionaire's daughter, but you threw away the red carpets and the hot wife just to settle his tab. Jingnian woke up in this life feeling like the world's biggest jerk, so now he's basically your personal guardian angel. He's determined to make your entertainment career smooth sailing, no more toxic internet trolls, and definitely no more casting couch creeps. As for the people who offed him and his parents, oh, he's got a very long receipts list and nobody's getting a refund. The next day, the Fang family rushes a press conference like they're trying to beat a Twitter cancellation. They officially announce your identity, and thanks to Jingnian throwing a tantrum, you're officially the family's second son. There's no fake young master here. You're his blood brother, and he's ready to fight anyone who says otherwise. Once the cameras stop clicking, the Mew family shows up to check on their investment. Even though the press conference played nice with the two brothers narrative, these high society snakes don't buy it for a second. The moment Wanning walks into the room, Jingnian loses his cool. He tries to keep his poker face on, but the sheer "I want to delete your life" energy radiating off him is impossible to ignore. You're standing right next to him just about to say something when you look up and see the look in his eyes. Seeing Wanning looking like she's about to commit a felony with her eyes, you feel a chill crawl up your spine. You instinctively grab Jingnian's hand, pulling out your best concerned younger brother act. You ask him if he's feeling sick or if he just pulled an all-nighter binge watching something he shouldn't. The second your hand touches him, Jingnian snaps out of his trance like he just got hit with a bucket of ice water. Looking at your worried face, he realizes that his dear little yuan is so perfect it's almost illegal. He finally understands why the white moonlight trope is such a lethal weapon in these stories. When he doesn't answer immediately, you turn up the volume a notch, making him jump. He quickly tries to play it cool, telling you he's fine and that he just needs to get used to the lack of sleep. While you two are having your little moment on the stairs, Wanning is standing nearby, finally snapping out of the mental lecture her parents gave her. Let's be real, she's been low-key hating this 2-year-old engagement since day one. But since her parents control the bank account and you're actually a certified snack, she didn't kick up too much of a fuss. Her grand plan was simple: keep a pretty face like yours at home as a trophy, while she kept a rotating roster of submissive fanboys on the side to stroke her ego. She can't stand the typical arrogant rich heirs or those Sigma grindset CEOs. She likes her men pure and naive because they're way easier to gaslight into her one ring to rule them all infidelity scheme. But then the plot armor cracked. Turns out you're just a fake young master. In the world of high society power moves, a fake heir is basically a knockoff designer bag. Looks good from a distance, but zero resale value. She totally gets why her parents want to swap the groom for the biological heir, but she's seriously annoyed about having to marry some random kid who spent his life living like a total commoner. This Moo guy was hoping for a perfect, submissive little trophy, but he's realizing that trying to control Jingnian would be like trying to put a leash on a honey badger. This kind of guy's attitude flips the second things don't go his way, and Lu looks like the type who won't just be disobedient, he'll be a straight-up nightmare to live with. He's eyeing Jingnian, who's standing right next to you in a white suit. The guy looks a bit ragged, like he hasn't slept since the Clinton administration, unlike you and your pampered lifestyle. Clearly, life in the real world wasn't a spa day for him. But hey, in manhwa world, a bit of skincare and some expensive steak usually fixes the haggard look in a week. The real problem is Lu's face. He looks exactly like his old man, which is to say he's devastatingly handsome, but he's got this high aggro energy. He's looking at the Moo guy with eyes that say, "I know where you live," and honestly, it's making the dude rethink this entire marriage deal. Meanwhile, the Fang parents have finished their chat with the Mew parents, and their faces are basically a Yelp review with 0 stars. The Mew family is move fast and break things levels of thirsty. They literally just held a press conference this morning, and now they're already at the front door demanding a fiancé swap, like they're exchanging a defective toaster at Walmart. They're trash-talking both sons now, claiming you're a fake with questionable bloodlines and that Lu Jingnian is some unrefined caveman because he grew up in the real world. Talk about zero respect, the Fang parents are officially over it. This marriage was only supposed to be a safety net because they thought you were too soft to handle the company alone and needed a partner. But now that Lu Jingnian is back, the brothers are getting along like a house on fire. They can rely on each other, so why the hell would they let some outsider come in and snatch a piece of the pie? Mama Fang gives Papa Fang the shut it down look. Papa Fang swallows his rage, plasters on a fake customer service smile, and waves over to the two of you as you're whispering secrets by the stairs. Hey Jingnian! Ah, Yuan! Come over here for a sec! So, the parental units decided it was time for a little family meeting. You drag Lu Jingnian over and take a seat next to Papa Fang, who's currently staring at his two sons while internally recalculating his life choices. He's basically thinking that the brat from the Mu family isn't even fit to carry his son's gym bags, let alone marry into the family. But before he can even open his mouth to start the classic rich family interrogation, Lu Jingnian decides to speedrun the drama. He goes, "Hey mom, dad, I heard you guys set up some ancient contract for a yuan. I caught some of that spicy talk about a marriage alliance by the stairs, so I'm guessing the VIPs sitting over there are the legendary Mu family members, right?" Then, he turns up the sarcasm. "Look, I know we're living in a high society drama, but what year is it? Arranged marriages? Really? I get it. You want to merge companies and play real-life Monopoly to expand the empire. But there are plenty of fish in the billionaire sea. As long as we pick someone from the elite circle, does it really have to be this specific flavor of disappointment? I'm officially voting no on this one. A yuan looks like he'd rather eat a bowl of glass than marry her. And frankly, they're not exactly giving off best friend vibes either. Let's just scrap the contract. It's not like they actually like us anyway. You and the parents are low-key vibrating with joy. Sure, Lu was about as subtle as a brick to the face, but he said exactly what everyone was thinking. Meanwhile, the Mew parents are turning a lovely shade of about to have a stroke purple. And then there's Mew wanning. She looks like someone just told her that her entire personality is a filler episode. She can't believe she's being rejected this hard. She tries to keep her cool, but her eye is twitching as she looks at Lu. "Mr. Lu, we literally just met, and you're already dragging me through the dirt. Do you have any manners at all? Or did you just skip that part of your upbringing?" She probably thought calling out his lack of education would make him feel guilty. Big mistake. Lu Jingnian just leans back with that "I have zero regrets" energy and says, "Yeah, you nailed it. I've got absolutely no manners. I must have been playing hooky during the etiquette lessons. I grew up in the school of hard knocks, raised by foster parents who did their best until they punched their time cards for the last time. Since then, I've been out here surviving on the streets with zero backup. So, this refined upbringing you keep yapping about? Yeah, I totally missed that DLC. Nobody taught me manners, they just taught me how to keep it 100 and speak the truth. I'm not attacking you specifically, I'm just stating facts. Or is telling the truth a crime these days? Man, talk about being sensitive. Hearing this, Mu Wanning's face scrunched up like she'd just sucked on a lemon. For a spoiled princess used to everyone kissing her boots, Lu Jingnian's attitude was a total system error. If the elders weren't sitting right there, she'd have probably flipped the table and gone full Godzilla. But she had to play it cool. Her parents gave her a script to follow, and she needed those Mu family shares more than a pro gamer needs a fiber connection. See, being the heir isn't all crowns and robes. Her dear old dad has more illegitimate kids than a soap opera, and even her own sister is breathing down her neck like a final boss. She needs this marriage alliance with the Fang family to boost her power level. To her, the Fangs are just a convenient stepping stone. Once she locks down the Mu group, her future husband will just be a glorified piece of furniture, pretty to look at, but totally useless. In her twisted head, the Fang family is basically a backup snack pack she'll devour the moment things get dicey. Sure, we live in a society with laws, but she figures with enough cash, you can always find someone willing to be a knife that doesn't leave a paper trail. A few lives lost, just a business expense. As she sat there in silence, her eyes went darker than a DC movie reboot, her brain already calculating the cost of the cleanup. Not getting an answer, Lu Jingming Mu Wanning watches them with cold eyes, her inner monologue basically screaming, "Not today, Satan." She knows they're plotting, and she's definitely not the massive sucker she was in her past life. This time, she's not just playing the game. She's sending them all straight to the underworld. Sensing the vibe is getting weirder than a family reunion at a morgue, Mother Fang finally speaks up to break the silence. She's out here acting like she's doing everyone a favor, explaining that it's not that they hate the Mu family, it's just that this engagement is a total no-go now. See, they spent years neglecting their real son, Lu Jingnian, and now they want him to be happy even if that means tossing old contracts in the trash. And Yuan? Sure, they raised him, but since he's not biological and he's obsessed with becoming a famous actor, they've decided a pesky little thing like a wife would totally kill his eligible bachelor brand. It's all for his dreams, you see. Before Mu Wanning's parents can even get a word in, Wanning herself loses it. She's doing the mental math and realizes no marriage equals no company shares and no power over the Mu group. She jumps up like her seat just turned into a George Foreman grill, desperately pleading that they can't call it off. She claims she doesn't care about the fiancé swap or Lu Jingnian being the new favorite. If Yuan wants to be a star, fine! They can just do a secret marriage. He can play the single heartthrob for the fans, and it won't change a thing. But before she can finish her secret spouse pitch, Lu Jingnian suddenly snaps, bolting off the sofa, and with a backhand move, Lu Jingnian delivers a slap so spicy it practically sends Mu Wanning's face into another zip code. He isn't just mad, he's "I'm about to end this woman's whole career" mad. He sneers at her, telling her that just because she's been chugging that liquid courage, she shouldn't think she can play everyone for fools. He tells her straight up, don't think the parents in Yuan are as clueless as they look. Today, the gloves are off, and he's airing all the dirty laundry right in the middle of the living room. He stops and glares at her parents, who are standing up like they're ready to call the manager. But Lu just mocks them. He reminds them that before he was the long-lost young master, he was grinding as a waiter at a 5-star hotel. He knows exactly how these refined rich girls operate, spending their daddy's money on C-list male stars and college kids looking for a sugar mama. Mu Wanning is shaking now, her eyes full of the kind of terror you only see when someone realizes their browser history just went public. She finally understands why this guy has been looking at her like she's a piece of trash since the moment they met. She's regretting showing up today more than people regret buying crypto at the peak. But Lu isn't done. He's got the receipts. He tells everyone that just yesterday, right before his big homecoming, he was cleaning up the absolute disaster left behind in a hotel suite. And would you believe it? The room that smelled like a locker room and questionable life choices was booked under her name. He caught his supposed fiancée bringing another dude to his literal place of work. It's a plot twist so trashy even a daytime soap opera would reject it for being too much. Hearing this, your face goes completely pale as you look at Mu Wanning. You never actually had feelings for this woman, but before your secret identity was even a thing, you were still rocking that young Master Fang title. And Mu Wanning, your supposed blushing bride-to-be, was literally days away from dragging you to the altar. But instead of picking out flower arrangements, she's been out there auditioning for the lead role in every cheating fiancé trope imaginable. She wasn't even trying to hide it. She was so generous with her time that the hotel staff probably had her on their frequent flyer program. Just think about it. If Big Bro hadn't swooped back into your life and exposed this mess, your entire future would have been flushed down the toilet because of this woman. You're standing there, shivering like a glitching NPC, realization hitting you like a freight train. Seeing you turn into a human popsicle, Lu Jingnian steps in and grabs your ice-cold hand. He tells you not to be scared because Big Brother is here, and honestly, that woman deserves to end up as lonely as a MySpace user. Mama Fang is absolutely vibrating with rage, basically telling them to get lost. No way in hell is her son marrying into that kind of drama. Papa Fang doesn't even bother with a fancy press conference. He just unilaterally nukes the engagement right then and there. He tells them the deal is dead and orders them to take their trash daughter and get the hell out of his house. The Mu parents are completely blindsided, looking like they just walked into a boss fight at level 1. With zero dignity left, they start dragging Mu Wanning away like a bag of expired groceries. Her dad is already screaming about the beatdown waiting for her at home, losing his cool completely. Wanning is still in a total trance, her brain lagging behind the fact that her secret life just went viral in the worst way possible. It isn't until they're practically out the door that she finally snaps out of it. She spins around, looking at Lu Jingnian with the ultimate "it's not what it looks like" face, stammering that it's all a big misunderstanding, and that she can totally explain why she's the hotel's MVP. Seeing that this guy still had the audacity to keep his mouth moving, Lu Jingnian decided a verbal takedown wasn't enough. He stepped up and served him a fresh five-finger sandwich that sent Mu Wanning spiraling right out the front door. Seriously, what kind of shriveled, moldy cucumber was this guy anyway? Jingnian told him their house was way too classy for first trash like him and slammed the door before the dude could even process the taste of his own teeth. With the door shut, the room went dead silent. Everyone was staring, probably wondering when Jingnian became a professional bouncer. Finally, the silence was broken by a concerned, "Brother, does your hand hurt?" Jingnian looked at his glowing red palm and gave a tired sigh, basically admitting that his physics teacher was right. Every action has an equal and painful reaction. Newton is a total jerk. Now that the trash had been successfully taken out, the group sat back down to finish the conversation the Mu family had so rudely interrupted. Mama Fang cleared her throat, getting into serious talk mode. She told Yuan that they knew his heart was always in acting and that he'd only studied finance back in college because he was their only option for the family legacy. But thanks to the magic of the long-lost brother trope, they now had two sons. They'd already grilled Jingnian about his life goals, and turns out the guy actually likes making money and is totally down to take over the family empire. So the parents did some math and thought, why not let Jingnian handle the soul-crushing spreadsheets while Yuan goes off to chase his dreams in the entertainment industry? They made it clear they weren't playing favorites or kicking Yuan out of the boardroom. If he wanted to give up on his dreams and stay in the office, that was fine too. They just wanted to put everything on the table because they weren't kids anymore, and it was time for them to decide their own futures together. Look at Wenyan's eyes. They're glowing like he just pulled a 5-star character on a single gacha pull. He's practically vibrating with hype as he asks, wait, for real? Mom and Dad are actually letting me join the circus? I mean, the entertainment industry? Dad's eyes are getting a bit watery because he knows the truth. That industry doesn't just have deep water, it's a literal kraken-infested ocean that eats dreams for breakfast and spits out therapy bills. But the kid is obsessed with acting. He wants to play more roles than a desperate voice actor, and the entertainment world is the only place for that. Dad finally caves and says, hey, Yuan, we're in. But you better watch your back, kid. It's a jungle out there. Wenyan is nodding so hard, I'm worried his head might pop off. He honestly thought his dream was dead on arrival, but here we are. Seeing Dad about to have a midlife crisis over it, Lu Jingnian steps in and grabs Dad's hand like he's about to sell him crypto. Chill, Pops! You're overthinking this. As long as the Fang family is his sponsor, nobody's gonna mess with him too hard. Sure, he'll have some bad days, but you can't get a rainbow without a little rain. Standard Hallmark card logic. If he's chasing his passion, even the grind is going to feel like a vacation. Jingnian shoots Wenyan a look that says, help me out here, kid. Wenyan picks up the signal immediately. Dad, brother is right. I've got you guys behind me, and I'm not exactly a damsel in distress. I'll protect myself. I love acting more than life itself, and I'm ready to hustle. Just believe in me. Dad finally stops vibrating with anxiety, so Jingnian turns to Mom to drop the corporate news. He's willing to take over the family business, but he's not exactly a shark yet. He admits he's a total noob when it comes to the day-to-day grind and needs to level up his stats first. He asks Mom to stay in the driver's seat for a bit longer while he learns the ropes. So while the Fangs are having this wholesome family bonding session, the Mu family finally makes it back to their villa. And let me tell you, Mama Mu is currently having a nuclear meltdown. Smack! Mu Wanning just got a high-speed delivery of a fresh slap right to the face. Her dad is absolutely losing his mind, screaming about how she's gone completely off the rails. I mean, taking a guy to a hotel in broad daylight while you're engaged to someone else? That's not just reckless, that's I want to ruin my life speedrunning. Thanks to her little stunt, the Fang family found out the engagement is officially dead, and the family reputation is currently sitting in a dumpster fire. Dad kicks her out of the room, tells her to go think about her life choices, and here's the kicker. Hands all her work projects over to her sister. Oh, and that CEO inheritance she was dreaming of? Yeah, that's officially on life support. Back in her room, Wanning is going full Hulk mode, smashing everything in sight. In her twisted little head, this is all Lu Jingnian's fault. She figures if that guy hadn't been found and brought back into the family, the Fang family never would have known about her secret boyfriend, and she'd be married with enough company shares to rule the world. She knows exactly how many millions those projects were about to rake in for the Mew Corporation, and now her sister is basically walking away with the jackpot. Suddenly, her phone starts buzzing in the middle of the wreckage. It's Gu Chen. She's about to hang up, but then that villainous scheme light bulb finally flickers on. She answers with a nasty little smirk, telling Gu Chen she's got a special job for him. Meanwhile, after the Fang parents finally clear out, we've got a total shift in vibes. You're standing there with eyes redder than a low-budget horror movie, looking at Lu Jingnian and sobbing about how sorry you are. You're doing the whole, "I'm so sorry I stole your life" guilt trip, but Lu Jingnian isn't buying the drama. He reaches out, wipes away a tear, and plays the ultimate Big Brother card. He tells you to stop crying because caring for you is literally his job description. He says the whole identity swap was just a freak accident, and he doesn't blame you for any of it. Since your parents gave him the best life they could back when they were alive, he's going to make sure you're taken care of now that they're gone. He tells you not to worry, because the Fang family rescued. Your parents and I are your family. We have got your back, so go ahead and chase those dreams with everything you have got. Lu Jingyan says this while having a massive PTSD flashback to the previous timeline. In the last our boy Yuan jumped into the entertainment industry with zero experience and immediately got played like a cheap fiddle. He signed with a predatory agency that stole his checks, forced him into trash-tier scripts, and almost sold him off to some creep. If Binding Bing hadn't stepped in like a literal knight in shining armor to bail him out, Yuan's life would have been a total dumpster fire. Lu looks at him now with eyes that say, "I have seen the series finale, and it is a tragedy." He warns him, "Listen, Yuan, the entertainment world is crawling with snakes. Do not just dive in headfirst like a thirsty fanboy. You need a solid agency and a manager who is not a literal demon, okay?" Yuan is a bit lost, but he knows Lu wants what is best for him, so he just nods along. Once that is settled, Lu hits the garage and grabs a random luxury car because when you are this rich, cars are basically Legos, and heads out to find the person who always protected a Yuan like a white moonlight. Lu is being a realist here. Yeah, he is reborn, but rebirth only gives you the cheat codes. It does not magically turn your brain into a supercomputer. To build an empire and crush his enemies, he needs a squad. His family, the Fangs, are filthy rich, but their business is not in entertainment. To keep Yuan safe in that toxic cesspool of an industry, he needs a heavy hitter who can flip the entire table with one word. That leads him to the Shengxi Group, a massive titan with its fingers in every pie. Their entertainment subsidiary, Starry Path, is the absolute top of the food chain. And the person running that show, Binding Bing. She is the only daughter of the big boss, the sole heir to the throne, and she has been a total boss in the industry since she started in university at 17. In his past life, this girl was the ultimate ride or die. We're talking about the big shot heiress of the entertainment industry who loved you so much it was bordering on a restraining order. She fought through every bit of nasty gossip and cleared a path for your career like a human bulldozer. For Lu Jingnian, she's hands down the best choice. Look, our boy Lu isn't exactly a Mensa candidate, but he's a professional at clinging to the golden thigh. He decides to go double or nothing and lay all his cards on the table with Binding Bing, using her influence to kickstart his own grand scheme. Lu's luck seems to be holding up for once, probably because the plot armor is finally kicking in. He hits green lights all the way to the Shengxi Group headquarters. After showing off the reservation he made in the middle of the night, he gets escorted straight to the penthouse office. There she is, Binding Bing, rocking a white dress and looking like a literal angel, though her face is giving off major "I'm about to delete your existence" vibes. She looks young, but her patience is clearly at 0%. She looks at him and says, "Mr. Lu, unless I'm losing my mind, we've never met. You just crawled back to the Fang family, and your first instinct is to haunt my office? If you don't have something legendary to tell me, I'm having my assistant toss you out." After that warm welcome, she shuts up, clearly waiting for him to entertain her or leave. Lu Jingnian was ready for this. Binding Bing is the definition of a savage. Being an only child and the sole heir to a massive empire, plus being gorgeous enough to stop traffic, means she's been treated like a goddess her whole life. Naturally, she evolved a poisonous snake attribute. She's blunt, ruthless, and her words can kill a man's ego faster than a Twitter cancellation. In the last life, when she tried to help you, she thought she was flirting, but you were convinced she was trying to buy you like a high-end man toy. Because of that sugar mommy vibe she accidentally put off, you rejected her over and over. If you hadn't been backed into a corner with nowhere else to go, you never would said yes to her. That led to a giant mess of misunderstandings, and by the time you two finally managed to crawl your way to a happy ending, it was cut short because of your galaxy brain decision to go after Wanning. That move literally sent her to the afterlife. Thinking about how he ruined their future before it even started, Jingnian feels a stinging sensation in his nose like he's about to lose it. Jingnian's eyes are starting to leak, and seeing him pull the Waterworks card makes Bai Ningbing lose his absolute mind. He jumps up faster than a protagonist dodging a generic reincarnation truck and hides behind his chair like it's a tactical riot shield. He's pointing a finger, face full of panic, screaming, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, if you're gonna cry, do it outside! If someone walks in right now, they're gonna think I did something unspeakable to you. I haven't even touched you, so don't you dare come any closer!" Watching Bai Ningbing freak out like a startled cat makes Jingnian's tears literally retreat back into his skull. He totally forgot that this version of Bai Ningbing hasn't even graduated yet. He's just an intern at the family biz, a sharp-tongued college kid who hasn't been chewed up and spat out by the corporate machine. He's a far cry from the ruthless, soul-crushing CEO he becomes later. Honestly, Jingnian's timing is trash. He's basically trying to fight a final boss that's still stuck in the tutorial phase, but hey, the arrow is already on the string, so he's gotta let it fly. Bai Ningbing was raised by that legendary girl boss CEO, Bai Qingxing, so even if he's currently rocking that pure and stupid college vibe, he shouldn't be this much of an innocent sweetheart when it comes to business. Jingnian decides to stick to the script and go full hug the golden thigh mode. He looks him dead in the eye and says, "Listen, Bai Ningbing, what I'm about to tell you is life or death serious. I am not lying to you, and you can fact-check every single word. I just don't want my own past stupidity to be the reason you and a yuan end up 6 feet under again." At the mention of a yuan, a flash of something dark and dangerous flickers in Bai Ningbing's eyes, but it's gone faster than a filler episode. He immediately swaps back to his brain-empty persona and shouts, "Hey, do you even hear yourself right now? I know you're salty that the senior took over your identity, but it's not like he chose to do it. You can't just pin that on him! Besides, I heard he offered to leave on his own, and you were the one who wouldn't let him. Now you're coming over here to talk trash and put a hex on him?" Before he can finish his little rant, Jingnian cuts him off mid-sentence. "Bai Ningbing, I am telling you the absolute truth, and I have the receipts to prove it. Tonight, the Chinese version of Twitter is going to explode with a hashtag about our favorite movie queen having a vigorous group cardio session at a local hotel while she's still technically hitched. Classy, right?" The office goes dead silent for a long beat. Bai Ningbing finally stops playing around, sits back in his expensive chair, and stares at Jingnian with a look that says he's trying to decide if Lu is a genius or just a special kind of crazy. He basically tells him, "Listen, buddy, give me a good reason why you're dumping this tea, or you're leaving this building in a body bag and not the designer kind." Jingnian takes a step back, realizing he totally failed the vibe check. See, he thought Bai was just your typical all-money, no-brain rich kid, but those eyes? Suddenly they're deep enough to see your search history. Talk about playing the ultimate "I'm actually a genius" Uno reverse card. I guess that's why in the previous timeline, this guy was the absolute goat of the business world before he was even old enough to rent a car. Jingnian realizes this guy is the ultimate power player, and he's going to cling to those thick, muscular pillars of plot armor like his life depends on it. By the time Jingnian walks out of the Shengxi Group headquarters, he's got a very professional-looking lady trailing him. Now, Bai Ningbing isn't an idiot. He doesn't just believe some random dude yapping about past lives and future scandals. That's some grade A fan fiction logic right there. He definitely sent this woman to spy on Lu, but honestly, Lu couldn't care less. A win is a win. He glances at the woman behind the wheel at Xiami. In his past life, she was Bai's MVP assistant, the one who actually kept the empire running while the boss looked broody. Getting her on his side this early is like starting a new game plus with a level 99 companion. With her help, he's going to grab every opportunity to rebuild the Fang family, make his enemies wish they'd never been born, and pave the way for you. So there you are, hanging out in the Fang family villa, fingers smashing the keyboard like you're trying to win a professional gaming tournament. You're deep into a search when the front door clicks open. You look up, ready to hit Jingnian with a big smile, but that smile dies a sudden death the moment you see the mystery woman standing behind him. Jingnian is just casually swapping his shoes, totally oblivious to the vibes, and introduces her as Xiami. He calls you a yuan and explains that she's his new secret weapon. Apparently, his mom is forcing him to play corporate big shot, and since he knows absolutely nothing about running a company, he went out and scouted some pro talent. He's hyping her up, saying she's a total beast at management despite her age, and that it took a lot of work to borrow her for the job. While Jingnian is yapping away, Xiaomi is low-key scanning you like a high-tech radar. She thinks you look like a total innocent, but that's not what's making her brain short-circuit. Her eyes are glued to your left wrist. You're rocking a black soapberry bead bracelet. It's cheap, it's rough, and it definitely didn't come from a luxury boutique. But here's the kicker, it's the identical twin to the one her big boss, Bai Ningding, wears. We're talking about a billionaire heir who wears shoes that cost more than a car, yet he never takes off that janky string of beads. No matter how many high-end suits he cycles through, that cheap bracelet stays locked on his wrist. Xiaomi flashes back to that night she had to pick her drunk boss up from a bar and the things she heard while waiting outside the room. In a split second, it all clicks. You're the person from the stories, the one her boss's friend said was owned by the boss. So the big boss has been thirsty for this senior for years? Talk about playing the long game. No wonder he packed me off to babysit this Lu Jingnian guy who, let's be honest, looks like he's missing a few screws in the head department. While I'm over here questioning my career choices, Lu Jingnian slides over and catches a glimpse of your laptop screen. His eyebrows do that little "I'm about to ruin someone's day" twitch. You look up and ask, "What's the matter, big brother?" He points at the screen, his voice dropping an octave as he asks if this is the agency you've finally decided to sign with. Right there on the screen is the contact info for a talent firm, and you're already halfway through typing your "Hear Me" email. You tell him the place looks great on paper, but suddenly he hits the high notes. Absolutely not! You're not signing with them! His voice goes from zero to angry Karen at a retail store real quick, scaring the daylights out of you. You're totally lost because up until now, this guy has been chill, but Lu Jingnian is low-key losing his mind. Why? Because in his previous life, yeah, we're doing the reincarnation trope now, keep up. This exact company turned your life into a literal dumpster fire. They treated talent like disposable tissues, and he'll be damned if he lets this trash-tier agency pollute his precious yuan again. He forces himself to swallow his rage and tries the reasonable big brother approach. He explains that he's heard things about them. He tells you they're basically leeches who bleed their artists dry and then pimp them out for resources just to get a role. It's the literal cancer of the entertainment industry. Be a good kid and stay away from them, he says. Meanwhile, Xia Ming is right there in the corner, ears perked up like a radar dish, eavesdropping on every single word Lu Jingnian is saying about, "You really should think about Star Path Media. Take it from your boy, you won't find another company in this toxic wasteland of show business that has more heart or a better future than them." Lu Jingnian's eyes basically turned into high-definition dollar signs at the thought. He'd brought Xiaomi home specifically to bait him into being the golden ticket into Star Path. Since he isn't running his own studio yet, this company is the ultimate power move. Their agents are the literal avengers of talent management, and their resources are so good it's borderline cheating. There's a legend in the business: if you sign with Star Path and don't actively try to set your career on fire, you're basically destined for the Hall of Fame. The real kicker? Star Path is a subsidiary of the Prosperity Group, and the sole heir to that mountain of cash is Bai Ningbing. In the previous timeline, yeah, we're doing the whole regressor thing. Try to keep up. After Bai Ningbing rescued our guy from that absolute dumpster fire of a company he first signed with, he shipped him straight to Star Path. He was put under the wing of the best agent in the business, which basically paved his road to becoming the movie king with pure gold. If he joins now, he's not just going to be a star, he's going to be the whole damn constellation. Lu Jingnian cleared his throat, staring at Xiaomi like he was a juicy steak. Hey, Assistant Xia, look at my boy Yuan here. Look at that face. He's been training in the arts since he was in diapers, and he's a total pro. If he hits the scene, he's going to be a legend. Do you think it'd be hard for someone like him to get into Star Path? Facing that intense, thirsty gaze, Xiaomi looked away, feeling the awkwardness in his soul. Let me call the boss and ask. What was the gentleman's name again? Lu Jingnian didn't skip a beat. This is our very own Fang Yuan. Xiaomi nodded and scurried off to a corner to make the call. The second he was gone, Fang Yuan leaned in and whispered in Lu Jingnian's ear, "Seriously, big brother? Forget it. Why would a massive titan like Star Path want a total newbie who hasn't even stepped into the meat grinder yet? Trust me, Yuan, you're basically a walking diamond. You deserve a top-tier company. Just watch, this guy's gonna come back with news so good it'll make your head spin." While the Fang brothers are busy whispering like schoolgirls in the corner, Xiaomi is on the phone giving the full play-by-play to the big boss, Bai Ningbing. There's a silence on the other end of the line so long that Xiaomi actually thought the call dropped, or maybe the boss just blue-screened. Finally, Bai Ningbing's voice cracks through the void. He asks the million-dollar question, is joining the circus? I mean the entertainment industry. His own idea, or is Lu Jingnian or the Fang family pulling his strings? Xiaomi looks over at our boy Yuan. Even though the kid looks a bit hesitant, his eyes are practically sparkling with that I want to be a star glow. It's the classic I have a dream look that usually leads to a training montage. Xiaomi tells the boss it's Mr. Yuan's own wish. The boss's response? Keep him away from the industry's filth. Don't let a single speck of that trash touch him. Classic overprotective CEO vibes. We love to see it. Xiaomi hangs up with a smirk that says, I'm about to ruin this man's whole career by being his favorite assistant. He's thinking, bingo! He really is the boss's secret crush. Finally, Xiaomi has found his legendary get-out-of-jail-free card. From now on, whenever the boss starts throwing a tantrum, he's got a human shield to hide behind. Life is about to get a whole lot easier. Switching back to his professional, I'm definitely not plotting your social life face, he walks over to the boys. Mr. Yuan, the boss gave the green light for you to join Star Path. Whenever you've got a minute, I'll take you to the office to sign the contract. The sooner we ink this deal, the sooner we can get you to work. Hearing this, Yuan doesn't even hesitate. He stands up faster than a kid hearing the ice cream truck and says, we can go right now. You're still feeling like you're stuck in a dream, aren't you? Honestly, for a pampered little greenhouse flower like you, the last 48 hours have been a straight-up fever dream of what the actual heck. It's a beautiful day for a road trip. Every light is green, classic main character energy, and the low-key black Porsche Cayenne finally pulls up at the Starry Path building. Under Xiaomi's lead, you and Lu Jingnian breeze through the doors like you own the place, heading straight for the VIP lounge. A middle-aged woman, dressed like she's ready for a Vogue cover, is already waiting. When she sees two boys trailing behind Xiaomi, her eyebrow twitches so hard it's practically a workout. She pulls out her best customer service smile, tells you both to take a seat, and then immediately drags Xiaomi out of the room like she's taking out the trash. She hisses at him, "You better start talking!" The boss texted me saying, "I'm taking on one rookie, not a starting lineup. Why did you bring two?" Xiaomi, currently having his windpipe relocated by his own necktie, desperately pats her hand like he's tapping out in a UFC match. "Wanru, let go! I can't explain if I'm literally meeting my ancestors. Why are you choking me? If the boss finds out you murdered her MVP employee, you're gonna be promoted to unemployed real fast." The woman lets go with a cold huff, looking completely done with his life. You always hide behind the boss. Speak. Xiaomi fixes his tie, which is now more wrinkled than a pug's forehead, and keeps it cool. The boss definitely only sent you one person. The other guy? He's my own personal delivery. Before he can even finish, she goes full nuclear. She grabs his tie again like she's trying to start a lawnmower. Are you kidding me? You know my heart is in pieces and I just want to retire to the background to train new managers. I only took the boss's recruit as a favor. And now you're using company time to smuggle in your own private side hustle? Once again, Xiaomi's neck becomes a casualty of war. And even though he's got the skin of a... Xiaomi finally loses his cool and slaps Su Wanru's hand away like he's swatting a persistent fly. He gets all righteous hero on her, saying, "Su Wanru, you can call me a jerk, but don't you dare come for my professional ethics. I'm not some low-rent grifter using my position for side hustles. Now can you please fix that spicy attitude of yours and just let me finish for once?" Su Wanru actually looks a bit rattled by his sudden backbone, so she nods and stays quiet. Xiaomi adjusts his suit, feeling himself for a second, and explains that the other guy is the brother of the rookie she's about to handle. Apparently, everyone's got homework today. The boss tasks Xiaomi with teaching this guy the ABCs of finance and how to run a company. Once he's done dealing with her drama, he's taking him straight to the Fang family business. Su Wanru frowns and interrupts him like she's reading from a how to be annoying manual. Wait. The Fang family? Why the hell are you guys going there to play business? Xiaomi's last nerve finally snaps and he gives her a quick chop to the head. Seriously, will you just let me finish one sentence? He's the eldest son of the Fang family, so obviously, we're going to the Fang family company. It's called being efficient, honey. Look, I know you've got a million more questions, but for the love of all that is holy, shut up and listen. Xiaomi glares at her until he's sure she won't bark back. He continues, explaining that the rookie she's taking under her wing is the other Fang brother, Fang Yuan. This kid wants to be a movie star and jump into the entertainment circle. Since the boss has a massive crush on him, and the Fang family doesn't have any entertainment businesses, the boss basically saw an opening and snatched him up for our agency. As for the guy Xiaomi is helping, Lu Jingnian, he seems to know some insider secrets and managed to convince the boss to help him out. But looking at the messy logic of this whole situation, Xiaomi's got a strong feeling that Lu Jingnian is the actual true heir, while Fang Yuan is just the fake. So the big boss is basically playing secret bodyguard. He's terrified Lu Jingnian might do something shady to Fang Yuan, so he sent me in to help, which is just a corporate code word for spying. Do you get it now, you absolute brick? Xia Ming's words hit Su Wanru like a plot twist in a low-budget drama. Her brain was doing backflips. The boss, the cold, untouchable CEO, actually has a crush, and it is a one-sided, unrequited mess? Talk about a weakness. She realized she just hit the career jackpot. Next time the boss tries to act tough and dump more work on her, she has got the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. Oh, sorry, boss. I am just way too busy babysitting your little crush to do anything else. Imagine the life. Getting a fat paycheck just to manage one guy while playing the professional slacker. Absolute peak performance. Xia Ming saw her face transform from professional to villainous plotter real quick and decided a physical reset was necessary, giving her a nice thump on the head. Wipe that creepy grin off your face, he snapped. Fang Yuan has no clue the boss is thirsty for him. He probably does not even know who the boss is, so do not go blabbing your mouth and ruining the mystery. He also dropped the boss's special orders. No VIP passes or cheat codes for Fang Yuan. The kid actually wants to earn his keep, so treat him like any other low-level newcomer. No extra resources, just the basics. Su Wanru was not even mad about it. In fact, she was all in. She only deals with the dreamers, the hustlers, and the people actually willing to grind for the fame and the bag. She has got zero patience for the shortcut takers who try to sleep their way to the top using their physical assets instead of actual talent. As she put it, if you are not working hard, you are not on her list, Su Wanru added, making it clear she only respects the true grind. Look, I'm not saying Mr. Yuan is a bad guy. He's the boss's favorite flavor of the month, after all. But let's be honest, he probably has no idea this unhinged stalker is watching him from the shadows. Does the boss even know you think she's a total lunatic? Su Wanru wiped the tears of laughter from her eyes and tried to look like a functioning member of society. Of course she doesn't know. If that little princess found out, she'd turn my skin into a designer rug. You're not going to snitch, are you, Xiaomi? I mean, I'm not wrong. The boss is barely out of diapers and she's already playing the game harder than her own mother. Is that even legal? Is that normal? Xiaomi didn't bother answering, just gave her a look that could freeze hell over. Cut the act. I won't snitch, but if you say anything to Mr. Yuan that messes up the boss's love life, I guarantee she will actually skin you alive. Su Wanru just fixed her hair, totally unbothered. Relax, I'm not stupid. I'm praying she actually lands him. Once they're official, I'll be the manager to the boss's husband. Think of the commission. Now let's go back in. I need to get a better look at our future trophy husband. The two of them headed back inside, and Xiaomi walked straight over to you. Mr. Yuan, let me introduce you to Su Wanru. She's the absolute goat of talent managers. I've already cleared everything with her, so she'll be handling your business from here on out. You two can iron out the details. Then Xiaomi turned her gaze toward Lu Jingnian. As for you, Mr. Lu, Su Wanru will be in charge of your side too, but we need to move. To finish the boss's orders on time, we need to head over to the Pishi group right now and get you started. Any complaints? Lu Jingnian practically bolted out of his chair. Not a single one. Let's get out of here. Yuan, you stay and talk to the manager. We're gonna head out and leave you to it. Good luck being left here by yourself. Fang Yuan isn't sweating it. In his past life, because of course we've got a regression trope on our hands. Su Wanru was the manager Bai Ningbing handpicked for him. Her professional level is basically maxed out, and the best part? No other artist to juggle. It's a one-on-one VIP experience. With his future looking brighter than a lens flare, Xiaomi decides to head out and grind, and since she's being so proactive, Fang Yuan isn't about to stop her. They vanish, leaving just him and Su Wanru in a conference room big enough to host a gladiator match. Being the polite gentleman he is, Fang Yuan stands up and extends a hand. Hello, Miss Su. I'm Fang Yuan. Looks like we're partners now, so please go easy on me. Su Wanru finally snaps out of her trance and shakes his hand. Honestly, her brain is short-circuiting because this guy is a total smoke show in person. Photos? Forget about them. They don't do justice to this level of visual assault. She realizes right then that in this industry, this kid has infinite potential. That Bai girl really knows how to scout talent, doesn't she? The entertainment world hasn't seen a newbie with this much main character energy in ages. To be fair, Sue was done with rookies after her last artist turned into a total dumpster fire, and she only took this job because her boss, Binding Bing, basically forced her into it. But looking at Fang Yuan's charming smile, she suddenly got that fire in her eyes again. With a specimen like this, as long as he's willing to work, she's confident she can drag him to the top. We're talking Best Actor, international awards, the whole walking the red carpet in Hollywood deal. Every manager dreams of birthing a global legend, right? She's ready to fight tooth and nail for every resource just to put him on that throne, mostly just to see if she can make him outshine Binding Bing. With a playful smirk, she gestures to a seat. All right, Mr. Yuan, take a seat. Let's look at this contract. And once we sign on the dotted line, we'll talk about how I'm gonna make you the king of the world. He pulls out a chair and slides 2 copies of a contract across the table, like he's handing over the secret formula to eternal youth. You start scanning the fine print, and holy chimichangas, your eyes are practically popping out of your skull. This isn't a contract. It's basically a love letter written in legal jargon. Every single clause is tilted so far in your favor, it's a miracle the paper isn't sliding off the table. Remember Lu Jingnian? The guy who warned you that your current agency was a total dumpster fire run by exploiters who'd sell their own grandmas for a cent? Yeah, you actually did your homework for once. On the ride over, you were glued to your phone, researching how not to get screwed over by industry sharks. Thanks to that freakish photographic memory of yours, you know exactly what a normal contract looks like, and this definitely isn't it. This is the kind of please join us goldmine they usually reserve for A-list superstars, not some fresh-faced rookie who still has that new actor smell. Your brain starts doing backflips, and your reading speed drops to a crawl as you look for the hidden catch. Su Wanrong, who's been watching you like a hawk who just found a particularly shiny rabbit, catches your hesitation immediately. She asks if there's a problem with the terms. You look up, eyebrows doing that confused but cute knit thing, and tell her straight up that these perks are way too high for someone who hasn't even had their first headshot taken yet. Su Wanrong just leans in, resting her chin on her hand with a grin that says she knows exactly what she's doing. She tells you that theoretically, you're right, but you're not exactly a standard issue newbie. She's seen your file. You're a top-tier genius from a prestige university, double majoring in finance and acting while pulling straight A's like it's some kind of hobby. And then she hits you with the kicker. Apparently, you have a face that the entertainment industry is starving for. She tells you that your potential is so massive. As long as you actually put in the work, you're basically a guaranteed jackpot. The room is practically glowing with his main character energy. Su Wanru sits up straight, cutting the small talk because we don't have time for a filler episode. She tells Fang that his face looks like it was personally photoshopped by the creator himself. Honestly, it is a bit unfair, but hey, that is why this god-tier contract makes total sense for a guy like him. And she is not just sucking up or doing a favor for Bai Ningbing, who is the one who technically forced him through the door. According to her, he actually earned this. She has seen his files, and even though 2 measly pages cannot possibly summarize a human being's entire life, the tiny glimpse she got was enough for the agency to realize they had found a literal unicorn. Jingtu is not about to turn down a multi-talented young master raised in high society. I mean, come on, he has a face so pure and unattainable, he is basically the human personification of a white moonlight trope, plus he has got double degrees. In the entertainment world, that is not just potential, that is a license to print money. She basically tells him he is worth every cent of this biased contract. Hearing this, our boy just sits there in silence. He really thought he just got lucky, but apparently, the agency sees him as a high-yield stock. He stops second-guessing himself, grabs the pen, and signs both copies. His journey to stardom officially kicks off right now. As soon as the ink dries, he looks at Su Wanru and asks if they can finally get down to business. She looks at his elegant handwriting, because of course even his signature is attractive, and smiles as she tucks the papers away. Of course, Mr. Fang, follow me to your VIP chill zone. Su Wanru leads you up to the 21st floor and opens the door to a private lounge that's actually bigger and cleaner than my first 3 apartments combined. This place has everything. Right there on the most obvious desk in the room sits a script, glowing like a loot box in a high-end RPG. You've got to hand it to the Starpath agency. Their efficiency is scary. You literally just finished signing your life away on that contract and they've already got your homework waiting for you. Sue tells you to take a seat and check it out. She personally dug this one out of the company archives after looking at your profile. It's a trendy web series based on a massive hit novel where the female lead spends her time slaying monsters and leveling up her life. The director is a pro, and the lead actress is a rising star who actually knows how to act, which is a miracle in this industry. The hype is already off the charts, the fanboys are ready to spend their life savings on merch, and the marketing team is firing on all cylinders. They've already locked in the 8 p.m. prime time slot for the exclusive premiere. Basically, as long as the lead actor doesn't get canceled or the studio doesn't explode, this show is a guaranteed golden ticket. You start flipping through the pages, interested for once, while Soo Won-roo keeps the commentary going. She explains that this is a no-romance story, which means the female lead isn't tied down to one guy. Thank the gods, right? No cringy slow-motion staring contests for 10 minutes. Instead, every single guy with a name in this script has some sort of deep emotional tension or complicated history with her. Each one of them is a vital piece of her zero-to-hero journey, and every single one of these male roles is written to be a total scene stealer with their own unique cool factor. Since the big whales over at Shengxi Investment are throwing bags of cash at this project, Starpath gets to handpick the cast for some of the best roles. She points to the first page and tells you to look at the vacancies, because those are the roles they've already picked out for someone special. You've got the star map character roster in your hands, so go nuts and pick one. Soo Won-roo drops the act and gets dead serious. She tells a Yuan that she needs him to lock this project in. As a fresh-faced rookie in this shark tank of an industry, his first role doesn't need 40 minutes of screen time, but it absolutely has to be a total attention magnet. It needs to make the audience remember his face. Every single character in this script is so well written and fleshed out that no matter who he picks, he's going to live rent-free in the viewers' heads. That's the mission, and that's exactly what he needs right now. Got it? After she finishes her pitch, you've basically speed-read the script and realize she's not lying for once. Most of these roles are the perfect gateway drug for a newcomer to break into the scene. You look up at Sister Sue with a look that says you're actually paying attention. You tell her you get the vibe and you're definitely taking the job, but then you throw a curveball. You ask her which character she's secretly manifesting for you. Soo Won-roo actually freezes for a second. She didn't expect you to ask for her opinion instead of just grabbing the easiest role. In her mind, there was an 80% chance you'd go for Ching Shui, the classic childhood friend from the Ling family. Why? Because it's the ultimate low-effort, high-reward role. It's basically playing himself. Usually when people think of the annoying little brother trope, they imagine some hyperactive kid bouncing off the walls, but this script actually has some taste. Ching Shui is a refined young master obsessed with poetry and classical arts. It's like the author literally used a yuan as a reference sheet. She was betting the house on him picking Ching Shui, but since he's being all mysterious about it, she does a mental lap around the remaining characters. After weighing the options, she still circles back to the same conclusion. A yuan, she says, my vote is for you to take the role of Ching Shui. In the original novel, The Fans, Lee Wen-yan flips the script to a specific page and pushes it towards Soo Won-roo, sounding like a salesman closing the deal of a lifetime. He tells her the role of Ching Shui is basically written for her. The personality, the look, the vibe, it's a perfect match, like tacos and Tuesdays. He can't wrap his brain around why she wouldn't just sign on the dotted line right now, but our girl has other plans. She stares at the pages, then looks up and says that if she hadn't seen this other guy, she'd have picked Ching Shui in a heartbeat. But compared to him, the character A Miao is the one who actually stays rent-free in your head. Soo Won-roo freezes up like a cheap PC trying to run a high-end game. She stammers, asking if she really means she wants to play the A Miao role. And our protagonist doesn't blink. She's dead serious. See, A Miao is the ultimate trope, the cold prince of Edgeland. He's that untouchable, ethereal moonlight type who looks like he's perpetually smelling something bad but makes it look hot. He's been low-key stalking, silently observing the female lead Wei Yin because she's the key to everything. This guy had a childhood so tragic it makes Batman's look like a trip to Disneyland, so he's got more walls up than a gated community. But then Wei Yin starts giving him flowers every single day, and suddenly Mr. Iceberg starts feeling a little tingle in his cold, dead heart. Fast forward to the climax of the sob story. He decides to trade his life for the future of the world and his own little selfish crush. He goes out solo, taking a literal sword to the gut from the very girl he loves just to make sure he doesn't hurt her after he's gone. It's peak emotional trauma bait. He dies by her hand, his sacrifice completely flips her worldview, and boom, he becomes her permanent white moonlight, the one guy she'll never be able to get over. She pauses and looks Su-won-ru dead in the eye. She points out that in the original novel this script is based on, the most popular male character isn't the lead. It's the tragic sacrificial lamb, a meow. Su-won-ru goes quiet, realizing her client's eye for talent is actually pretty lethal. She admits that A Meow is indeed the king of popularity. This A Meow character is basically the god-tier husbando of the original fanbase. When the news dropped that the novel was being turned into a live-action drama, the fans collectively declared that the entire entertainment industry was a talentless desert. See, A Meow is the main lead Wei Ying's ultimate white moonlight. He's got the looks of a celestial being, but he's definitely not just a hollow flower vase. The role is a total nightmare for actors because it actually requires, talent. The hardest part? A massive one-take sword sequence, the jingnian sex style, that the actor has to pull off without a stunt double. It's the pivotal moment that grabs Wei Ying's attention and changes his life, and the book stands were convinced no real-world man could pull it off. They figured only 2 or 3 actors in the entire industry had a face that could match the description, but those guys are just pretty boys who specialize in pouting and staring blankly in trashy idol dramas. Meanwhile, the guys who can actually act aren't exactly easy on the eyes. It got so toxic that fans flooded the production's official social media, demanding they just delete the character entirely. If they couldn't stop the author from making that sweet adaptation money, they'd rather have a Meow stay perfect in their imaginations than see him ruined on screen. The producers actually agreed. If they couldn't find the perfect fit by the time the cameras started rolling, a Meow was getting erased from the script. Su-won-ru, a massive fan herself, looks at your face and realizes that with the right makeup and wardrobe, you're a dead ringer for the guy's vibe. Thanks to your system-based training, your acting is actually solid, but these fans have deified this character to an insane degree. If you step into these shoes, they're gonna put you under a microscope more intense than a forensic crime lab. Listen, kid, the acting world is a total Shark Tank where the sharks have high-speed internet and zero mercy. One tiny slip-up and the keyboard warriors will bury your career before your debut even hits the airwaves. If you nail it, you're a legend. If you tank it, you'll be cyberbullied straight into a different dimension. And let's be real, you're the big boss's special little favorite. If you get canceled on day 1, the man might actually have a mental breakdown, and nobody wants that drama. Then there's the A Meow role. It involves a high-intensity 5-sword dance sequence with absolutely no stunt doubles allowed. Even with prop swords, things can get messy real fast, and your manager is not about to let his star attraction get a permanent facial redesign. The Qingshui role was a guaranteed ticket to Fame Town with 0% chance of a hospital visit. Your manager literally snatched that role out of another agent's hands the second he saw your face, thinking he was doing you a favor. But of course, because you have massive main character energy, you don't want the boring paved highway to success. No, you want the path of thorns where it's either total glory or absolute social suicide. Your manager, Su-won-ru, is basically having a mini-stroke watching you choose the hard mode on your first playthrough. She tells you to hold your horses while she makes a call to see if the higher-ups are okay with this suicide mission. She steps outside and dials the big boss, Bai Ningbing. After 2 rings, the man picks up with that signature, "I'm too rich for emotions" voice. Su-won-ru explains that you're basically trying to bypass the tutorial and jump straight into the boss fight. But instead of freaking out, Bai Ningbing just gives her the cold shoulder treatment. He tells her that he has total faith in you and that she needs to start trusting her own talent instead of bugging him with every little detail. Before she can even get another word in, he hangs up the phone like a total savage. Su-won-ru stared at the dead air on her phone like it just told her a bad joke. She let out a heavy sigh, probably wondering if her life had officially turned into a low-budget drama series. She figured both her boss and our main man Yuan were a few fries short of a happy meal. But hey, the boss was right about one thing. You gotta have confidence. If Yuan actually nails this performance, he's going to go viral faster than a cat video. Between the fanatical fanbases of A Meow and the Immortal Deer series, playing the edgy A Meow is a much better career move than playing that vanilla Qingshui character. Su-won-ru pushed the door open and told Yuan that it's settled. They're going with his choice. Time to pack up because they're heading straight to the set of Immortal Deer. Since the role of A Meow is basically the hottest thing since sliced bread, there's a small audition first. If he passes, They sign the contract and jump straight into the promo photo shoot. Filming starts at the end of the month, so they're basically on a collision course with destiny. Once he's locked in, Soo Won-roo can finally start filling out the rest of the cast. Soo Won-roo hopped behind the wheel and drove him to the massive film city. Since production kicks off in a few weeks, the crew had already turned the place into a construction zone. The director, Yang Ying, is one of those dedicated types who supervises everything personally to make sure nobody slacks off, so they had to track her down in the middle of the chaos. As the car rolled down the main road, a yuan stared out the window at the absolute madness of the scenery. It was like a history book exploded. Buildings from completely different eras were crammed together like a weird game of Tetris, but somehow it looked stunning instead of messy. Looking at the sets right in front of him, a yuan's heart started thumping like he just drank 10 espressos. This was his first real brush with the big leagues. Choosing this path meant he'd be spending the next few decades living out of a suitcase and wandering through fake cities like this one. Was he regretful? Not even a little. Instead, he felt a weird sense of peace, like he was finally where he belonged. The car eventually pulled up in front of a group of palaces that looked like they were floating on literal clouds. He hopped out of the car and followed Soo-won. Soo Won-roo weaves through the swarming crew like she's on a mission from God until she finally spots Yang Ying. She tells her group to hang back and glides over to play nice. Director Yang, long time no see, she says, flashing that professional I'm back smile. Yang Ying, who was busy screaming into her walkie-talkie like it owed her money, looks up and practically glitches. She's staring at Soo Won-roo with a look of pure confusion. Manager Soo? What brings a legend like you to my neck of the woods? Soo Won-roo just hits her with that cool, calm energy. Nothing crazy, she says. I just signed a new kid and heard you're casting for the immortal path. Figured I'd bring him by for an audition and see if he's got the spark. Now you've got to understand why the director is vibrating right now. In this industry, everyone thought Soo Won-roo was done. Semi-retired. Ghosted. The rumor mill said she was finished with babysitting actors because of the classic snake in the grass trope. Apparently, her last artist used her elite connections to become a superstar overnight, then dumped her for another agency faster than a bad Tinder date. It didn't destroy her career, but it was a massive, public slap in the face at Star Map Agency. After that mess, word on the street was that Soo Won-roo was officially out of the game. The directors in this town were actually pretty bummed about it. See, in this business, actors are a dime a dozen, but a legendary manager is a unicorn. Most managers are just greasy con artists looking for a quick payday, which is fine for the hack directors who just want to launder money, but Yang Ying and her crew actually care about things like art and legacy. They're the types who want their names in the history books, not just the tabloids. They loved Soo Won-roo because she's a total drill sergeant with a contact list longer than a CVS receipt. If Soo is managing you, it means you actually have talent and won't flake out on set. So when Soo mentions she's back in the game and looking for a role, the director is all ears. Everyone was busy playing the pity party card for Soo Won-roo, thinking she was down for the count. But plot twist, she shows up faster than a speedster with a new talent in tow for an audition. Yang Ying, probably wondering if she entered a parallel universe, hands her walkie-talkie to an assistant and sidles over. She asks Won-roo if she hadn't sworn off the talent-managing life for good. Won-roo just gives her that I know something you don't smile and explains that while that was the original plan, this kid is built different. He is the chosen one, her one and only shot at finally reaching the big leagues. Yang Ying nods along, acting all supportive like a true NPC. She tells Won-roo she's glad she didn't let the last ego bruising stop her and wishes her luck. Then she eyeballs our main man standing nearby. She notes that with those top-tier visuals and that main character energy, he is a total shoo-in for the Qingshui role. She tells Won-roo that with a face like that, there is no need to even sweat the audition, and asks why she is still being so extra with the protocols. Soo Won-roo just rolls her eyes like she is dealing with a slow learner. She tells her friend to let her finish a sentence for once, because she never said Yuan was here for the Qingshui role. Yang Ying's reaction basically proves the guy is a visual god, but she just assumes the kid is being stubborn with his own ideas and hopes the audition doesn't turn into a dumpster fire. Won-roo leans in, dropping her voice to a conspiratorial whisper, telling Yang Ying that she really should pay attention. He is not here for some side character or some easy role. He is here for the role of A Meow. Yang Ying's brain stalls for a second. She repeats the name A Meow like it's no big deal, Then reality hits her like a freight train. She screams out, asking if Wanru is out of her mind. She reminds her that between the hardcore fanboys and the industry pros, everyone knows that the Amiao character is basically cursed. It is so impossible to cast that the production team already gave up hope. The writers are currently pulling all-nighters to rewrite the script and cut the part because they figured nobody in this reality could actually pull it off. They had even sent the initial script to their company Zintu weeks ago. Look, the only reason the character Amiao is even in this script is because the rewrite wasn't finished yet. Now you're telling me this rookie you're babysitting is gonna play him? Sister Sue, are you pulling my leg or just trying to speedrun his career funeral? If he takes this role, he's going to be trending for all the wrong reasons before the first episode even drops. Do you want him to get roasted by the entire internet on day one? Are you actually insane? Su Wanru rubbed her ears, which were basically ringing from Director Yang's high-pitched screeching, before keeping it cool. Director Yang, you know as well as I do that cutting Amiao leaves a plot hole big enough to swallow the entire production. Just look at Yuan. With the right makeup, he is literally the character stepped out of the pages. And don't worry about his acting skills. He's got a top-tier degree in performing arts. He is the real deal. Besides, as a fellow fan of the original Immortal Deer novel, don't you want this adaptation to actually be perfect for once? If Yuan nails this, it's not just about the views or keeping the story intact. It's about fulfilling every book fan's dream. What reader doesn't want to see a perfect Miao on screen? When you took this job to direct Immortal Deer, didn't you want to bring that vision to life? Director Yang went quiet. Su Wanru had hit him right in his fanboy feels. Deep down, he knew that cutting Amiao would turn the story into a generic mess. Seeing him waver, she doubled down. Look, I brought him here for an audition. If he's trash, we go back to your original plan and I'll get out of your hair. But if he's the one, the payoff is way bigger than a few wasted minutes of your time. The director's face went through a whole kaleidoscope of emotions before he finally shifted his gaze onto Yuan. Fine, Wanru. I'll trust you this one time. Alright, we're heading to the screen test. I'm getting the makeup crew to turn him into a total masterpiece. Since you're helping me live my dream, I'm not letting your talent get dragged through the mud. I'm recording the whole damn thing from start to finish. If he actually lands the role of Amiao and the internet trolls start their usual keyboard warrior routine once the official photos drop, we'll just leak the footage. I finally found someone who doesn't suck at playing Amiao, and I'm not letting toxic book stands and clueless netizens bully him into early retirement before he even starts. While the makeup magic is happening on set, over at the pay group, Jingnian is currently melting into his desk like a piece of overcooked pasta. Why? Because adulting is hard and spreadsheets are harder. It's only day 2 of his big reincarnation adventure, and the main character energy is fading fast. He thought he'd be ruling the world, but instead, he's getting his ass kicked by business proposals and financial numbers that look like alien hieroglyphics. All he wants to do is go full slacker mode. His master plan? Wait for his brother to get famous so he can become the ultimate professional moocher. He's literally dreaming of the day his brother marries Bai Ningbing so he can just sell off the family business to the Sheng family, grab the cash, and spend the rest of his life vibing. Why work hard when you can just be a professional third wheel with a fat bank account? His assistant, Xiaomi, is watching this human puddle of laziness while filing papers. Honestly, her boss was worried about this guy being a threat to his crush? Please. Jingnian isn't a villain. He's a guy who'd surrender to a minor inconvenience if it meant he could take a nap. But because she's a pro and doesn't want to roast him to his face, she hits him with a gentle motivational pep talk. She tells him that he isn't going to become a business god in 3 hours and not to be so dramatic. As long as he puts in a little effort, it's not that deep. After all, as the boss, he doesn't actually have to do the heavy lifting. He just needs to know enough so his employees don't scam him. Xiaomi's voice is so soothing that the slumped-over Jingnian starts to feel a surge of, "You better get your butt off the floor right now." What, are we giving up already? Jingnian, you absolute coward, pull yourself together! Reincarnation isn't a free pass to become a professional couch potato. If you don't start acting like a human being, you're basically spitting in the face of the gods of plot convenience. Watching Jingnian's motivation flare up again, Xiaomin is actually shook. Since when did this guy get the recovery speed of a high-end gaming PC? I'm taking back my trash talk, for now. This guy is definitely built different, and we better keep a close eye on him. Your makeover is finally done. It's the classic uniform from the Nebula sect, which is Miao's go-to look for about 90% of the show. You've got the short hair half tied back with a white jade hairpin. His face looks like a filtered Instagram post, eyebrows like distant mountains, and eyes so clear they look like they've been flash frozen in a winter storm. When you finally step out in this gear, it's not just Su Wanru and Yang Ying who are catching flies with their open mouths. Even the overworked staff members stop their busy work to stare like they've just seen a ghost. Remember, this story is top-tier stuff in the world of web novels. It's got more fans than a K-pop concert, and it's a massive deal. Most of the crew had already read the source material. Even the ones who hadn't were forced to binge read it just to keep their jobs. Looking at you now, only one thought is running through their collective heads. The author didn't just write a character, they summoned him. A meow has officially entered the chat in real life. You jump straight into your first performance. You picked the scene where Ah Meow gets flowers from the female lead for the first time. Since the lead actress is nowhere to be found, you're doing this solo with some high-level imaginary prop acting. Staring at the empty air where the flowers should be, Ah Meow's eyes flash with a hint of confusion. He thinks of something, his brow twitches slightly, and he refuses to take the imaginary bouquet. Looking at Wei Ying, I had to hit her with the million-dollar question. Junior sister, why exactly are you here at the Qingyun sect? Are you actually chasing the grand Tao of immortality, or are you just here to thirst over some wild barbarians? If it's the latter, honey, this isn't a dating app, and this sect definitely isn't the place for your little hobby. Watching the performance, Yang Ying was nodding like a bobblehead. The acting was actually top tier. She nailed that specific vibe of receiving a flower, perfectly capturing that split-second flash of OMG yes, hidden right under a layer of I'm totally shocked. See, the character A Meow is your textbook emotional iceberg. She uses coldness as her personal suit of armor, but then she runs into someone like Wei Ying, a girl who's so hyper and talkative she could probably gaslight the laws of physics. Watching Ah Meow interact with her is like watching an ice cube realize it just fell into a pot of boiling water. She's not heartless. She's just socially constipated and terrified of looking weak. Yang Ying felt like he'd seen enough and was just about to stand up and yell cut when a voice suddenly piped up right next to him. Big senior brother, I just saw a poor little kid selling flowers on my way back to the sect and felt bad for the little guy. I only bought this out of the kindness of my heart. I swear I don't have any other motives. If this is making you catch feelings or catch a misunderstanding, I'll just toss it in the trash right now. Everyone turned their heads to see Gu Qinghan, the actual female lead of this show, standing there in her casual clothes. Talk about an unscripted jump scare. I was stunned for a microsecond, but my internal professional actor took the wheel. I stayed in character and kept the scene moving. That is literally the worst excuse I've ever heard. Do you really think I'm that easy to fool? Despite calling out her total lack of lying skills, I found myself reaching out and taking the flower anyway. Don't ask me why. Maybe it's the plot armor. Junior sister, as your senior brother, I really need you to focus all that energy on your cultivation. The demon clan is out there acting like they own the place, and we have work to do. The scene opens with a classic righteous hero lecture. Wei Ying is being told that the human race is currently being squeezed like a lemon in a midlife crisis, and as a cultivator, he needs to focus on saving the world instead of catching feelings and getting distracted by romance. Wei Ying just flashes a smile that says, I did not hear a single word you just said, and nods along like a total bobblehead, promising his senior brother that he is totally on board with the mission. Classic trope. As soon as the words leave his mouth, the director, Yang Ying, screams cut! The fake reality vanishes, and she tells the assistant director to hustle Gu Qinghan over for her costume photos immediately because time is money and she is not paying for overtime. She turns to our boy A Yuan and says it is time to sign the contract because since he actually killed the audition, the character A Meow is officially off the chopping block. Take that, screenwriters! No character deletions on my watch. While the assistant director drags Qinghan off to get her face painted, A Yuan heads over to his manager, Su Wanru. But before he can even open his mouth, Qinghan turns around and shouts across the set, See you next time! Hey Yuan, I am actually looking forward to our scenes together. Our hero is standing there looking like a confused golden retriever, but he keeps it polite. See you later, Teacher Gu. I will try my best not to be the guy who ruins the take and holds you back. Qinghan just waves him off and disappears into the distance, while Su Wanru leads A Yuan toward the producer. Not bad, kid. You actually did it. Congrats on the gig. A Yuan is not letting the fame go to his head just yet. Thanks, Sue. I heard they were going to delete this role entirely, so thanks for pulling those strings for me behind the scenes. Sue just gives him the I am the boss look and brushes it off. Hey! Securing the bag for my talent is what I do. But let us be real. If your acting was trash, no amount of networking would have saved you. By the way, do you actually know Gu Qinghan? A yuan blinks, completely lost. No? That was literally the first time we have ever met. Why? Sue looks like she just saw a glitch in the Matrix. Well, that is weird then. If you do not know her, she is acting way too friendly for a stranger. Su Wanru is looking at you like you just told her the earth is flat and gravity is a myth. She cannot wrap her head around it. Why would a big shot like Teacher Shu not only agree to act opposite a newbie like you, but then go out of his way to play nice and say hello? You, being the undisputed king of being blissfully unaware, just give her a blank stare. You figure that since the original book has a massive cult following, maybe Teacher Shu is just a hardcore fanboy who wanted to see the character A Meow finally brought to life. As for the greeting, you chalk it up to him just having decent manners. Su Wanru gives you a look that says, how are you even alive with this level of naivety? In her head, the silent alarms are screaming at max volume. She realizes you are way too pure for this cutthroat industry, or maybe just way too dense. While Yang Ying drags you off to sign your life away, sign the acting contract, Su Wanru slips into a corner like a budget ninja. She whips out her phone, her thumbs moving at light speed as she fires off a series of frantic texts, probably reporting back to the mothership. Meanwhile, over at the Sheng Group skyscraper, our resident CEO Bai Ningbing is currently having a midlife crisis at his desk. He's tearing at his tie like it's trying to strangle him. Ever since he played the ultimate wingman and lent his top-tier assistant Xiaomi out, his own workload has hit the stratosphere. He's rubbing his temples so hard he might actually reset his factory settings. He's seriously considering telling Xiaomi to just hire a clone or find a backup from his friend group. It's not like he's short on cash. He could afford a small army of assistants, so why is he sitting here doing actual work? He's a CEO, not a 19th century chimney sweep. There is absolutely no reason for him to be working like a dog. Just as he's about to lose his mind, Su Wanru's message pings. He glances at his phone, and for a second, the world stops. His wallpaper is a shot of you from the set, looking so ethereal you practically have a holy glow around your head. Looking at that photo brings back the memories of the shoot, and a rare, genuine smile starts to creep onto his face. His mood does a complete 180, going from corporate misery to pure fanboy joy. Well, at least until the exact millisecond he actually opens the message and the glow from the screen hits his face. Boss, update on the Fang Yuan situation. I took him to the audition today and he bumped into the lead actress, Gu Qingkai. This girl acted like they were long-lost soulmates, jumping into an impromptu scene with him and basically telling him she can't wait for their spicy rivalry off-camera. I checked with the man himself and nope, he has literally no clue who this woman is. Back at HQ, Bai Ningbing is staring at these messages like she's trying to set her phone on fire with her mind. She knew the second her golden boy stepped into the entertainment meat grinder, every thirsty amateur would try to get a piece of him, but she didn't expect them to move this fast. He just signed the contract, barely even dipped his toe into the industry, and the vultures are already circling. Part of her wants to go full psychological thriller, lock him in a room, and hide him away so his gorgeous eyes only ever have to look at her. Peak yandere energy, honestly. Her stress levels are hitting a world record high, so she starts rubbing that wooden soapberry bracelet he made for her. It's basically her emotional support fidget spinner. Finally, she cools off. She realizes she can't be a total buzzkill. Acting is his dream, and she's not about to ruin his freedom just because she's a little possessive. She'll just have to put in a lot more work to keep the trash away. She dials Xiaomi's number. On the other side of town, Xiaomi is watching Lu Jingnian wrestle with some boring financial reports and is about to help him out when her phone starts screaming. She recognizes the ringtone and her soul basically leaves her body. What does the boss want now? She's already in the middle of a mission. Is she really expecting her to pull double shifts? Office drone by day, secret agent by night? With a heart full of dread, she gives Lu Jingnian a quick nod and steps away to answer.